Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It is time once again here on a Tuesday for Misfits Racing League action. And today, I have to say, is one of my personal favorite rounds of racing that we're going to see this season. It is, of course, the Spanish Grand Prix. And who is joining me to kick off the week? None other than the Spaniard himself, Alex. How are you feeling for this one?
Hello, Shriv. Yeah, very excited to see these drivers here on my home GP, just on my backyard, as you said the other day. So yes, we have this track, very difficult to overtake, but yeah, very excited.
Well, you know this track better than most. 16 turns, 4.655 kilometers, 2.892, nearly 2.9 miles here. The one major DRS straight down into turn 1. And then you have the second DRS straight into turn 10 here. This is a very unique flowing circuit. As you said, difficult to overtake here. We are here for round 6, is the Spanish Grand Prix. And of course, next week, it doesn't get any easier to overtake. We go to Monaco, following that Baku, and then following that Canada through into France, Austria, Britain, Hungary, Belgium, Italy, Singapore, Russia, as well as Japan. Go to the United States, Mexico, Brazil, and then Abu Dhabi for this season. And what a season it's been so far. Of course, big shout out to our partners, Next Level Racing. If you haven't checked them out on their website, please do so. Link is in the chat, and we greatly appreciate anyone who checks out their amazing sim racing rigs. Of course, let's take a look at the standings now as we head into round 6. Rutanius still leading things in the Racing Point squad. Back row is second position here in the Red Bull, with Squid rounding out the top 3. It is Red Bull, Racing Point, and Williams, the top 3 in the constructors as well. And I have to say, this has been a very intense season here through the first 5 rounds, and it's just going to get more and more intense as we go deeper into this calendar. But of course, with that being said, we're just about ready to go racing here in Barcelona. But why don't you talk us through a little bit of this circuit, Alex? A little bit of the things that we may need to watch for. Of course, we have a potential weather dynamic coming through today as well. That's something that may happen in Spain from time to time, is a little bit of wet weather.
Yeah, definitely. Spain normally it's a track where you can see rain on quality on some parts of the race. It's not very rare to see that. So we it's a thing that can put a spark on the action, because we know that the strategy here normally is starting on those mediums or those hards. You don't really like to play or well to drive on these softs. So if there's rain on quali, these drivers will have to, well, they will have the possibility to change to mediums or hards on the starts, even if they start on they qualify on the top 10. So yeah, the rain can be a very good element for this racing here in Spain.
Getting something sorted on my end here. It would appear projected from the lobby. Hopefully there's no major connection issues through in the stream. Of course, if there is anything on the broadcast side, any issues with connection or frame drop, let us know in the chat. Alex Bido is potentially available to assist as a backup stream today, as internet fluctuation has gone up and down here in Canada these past few days. But we'll see how we can go here through tier 3, not turn 3. Not there quite yet. But of course, all drivers are into this lobby now. And we're just waiting on, I believe, Yasko to get dialed into his seat, and then we should be just about ready to go racing. Of course, 50% distance, 18-minute qualification for these races, strict corner cutting. It's a lot of fun. We have a safety car potential here. What do you think about safety cars here, Alex, in Spain? You think there's a high risk, low risk?
I think medium risk, because this is a track where there's actually runoff areas, but it's like grass or gravel, and you probably can't feel the grip there on those areas. So it's better. It's not very rare to see a safety car, or normally you can see it more BSCs though. But yeah, we have some walls, for example, on turn 2, some parts of sector 3, but I really don't think it's a high chance. Probably we can see one, but I don't know.
Definitely going to see what happens here, as we are now finally getting that clock ticking down here. We are going to jump into this 18-minute qualifying session here around Barcelona. And, well, Yasko, the last driver there, I don't know if he picked his car, but he was into the session. Hopefully he gets into his Red Bull appropriately, and then we'll be off racing for this qualification now. I do believe there is one driver on the grid serving a qualifying penalty. If I'm not mistaken, it might be Linus in the Ferrari.
Yes, and Jasko as well, I think.
Well, Yasko as well. Okay. Waiting on Yasko to load through here. It could be that he's having some connection issues.
Yeah, I think we're good. He didn't select the car, but I think the game will put automatically the last spot available, who was just his Red Bull. So it shouldn't be a problem for today's qualifying. I think it was, yeah,
Oh,
Jasko
my.
on Linus, and look at that.
Well, that definitely presents a very unique dynamic for this race. If we can get an update on how things are going to go for the actual race itself. This is a very wet quali. We don't need to know what's happening with the race, with the quali. We can see it quite clearly. Fraser coming through, and he is giving us an update saying wet dry. So a very, very shaken up qualifying here ahead of. Well, this is gonna really set up the race, I think, Alex. I'm extremely excited now. I was excited before, but I'm starting to struggle to find words. I'm so happy with this qualifying.
Yeah, this will be a mess, I think, or probably some drivers will not be happy of this. I think Adson will be the first driver to come out of the pit lane, but yeah, I think these drivers will be using probably 2 sets of these full wet compound tires. We see it's the blue wall tire. So yeah, very very interesting, because on terms of the setup, I don't think people will be risking to put a wet setup. Probably we can see some drivers putting it, but definitely not the most. We know it's a track difficult to overtake, and probably they will be looking for a good spot on this grid. But yeah, I really don't think they will be just on the wet setup.
Squid right now giving us a real clear view of what these conditions are like. He's coming up through turn 9 right now, a very tricky bit of circuit here in Spain. And it is absolutely drenched, this circuit. There is not a lot of dry spots as Squid comes out, the first runner here. There will be a line that develops, but just barely. These are very torrential conditions here for Spain. We've seen qualifying through the season of MRL go from wet to inter. We've seen inter go to dry, but we haven't really seen a full wet session start to finish, and I think we might just get one here. But the drivers in the chat letting us know, of course, that it will be a dry running campaign for the race here. Imagine a very large sigh of relief here. Squid now will be the first driver to attempt a lap time in these wet conditions. That Williams now heading down into turn 1. And why don't you take us through it here, Alex?
Yeah, we have here first turn, very difficult. You have to take both curves, but on the rain, the second curve is super dangerous, as we see Squid just putting the rear there and almost slipping. But yeah, we have turn 3 now. Turn 4 is just entering sector 2. A very difficult on traction on dries. So just imagine on wets, as we can see how he is losing a little bit the back end. Very difficult to not lock up on this left hand corner on turn 5. Now we have turn 6 flat out, even on rain. Now a difficult section where it's super easy to invalidate. Turn 7 and turn 8 just uphill, and we have turn 9, which will be definitely not flat out on these conditions, as we see the Squid having some traffic there. I think it's a Ferrari, as he is setting purple sectors. Of course, the first car was on a flyer. Razor just leaving the racing line. So we have here turn 12, turn 13 for the Williams. We will see if he can set a good lap, but definitely these drivers will be improving these lap times very soon, as they have a lot of fuel now on the car strip.
Yeah, for sure. Here we go now. 129.949 out of the Williams, and that is the first time set here. We'll see who the next time to cross is. Linus in the Ferrari, retiring from session here in qualifying, serving a qualifying ban. And I have to say, Alex, this isn't necessarily a bad day to be serving a qualifying ban, if I don't say so myself. I mean, these conditions, you have a dry race coming. There's going to be speed all over this grid. Adam in the Alfa Romeo at 129.723. He will take provisional pole as his teammate Lavelle, a 32.872 in the partnering Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, as we have as well some drivers, yeah, just starting his lap. A lot of drivers on their lap. Squid, I think, is still flying because we know on these wet conditions, your ERS it's more, let's say, like elastic. You can take more profit of that battery because you can reload the energy when it's raining a lot more than on dry conditions, as we saw Alex, but just leaving the racing line to leave some cars getting their laps. So yeah, Squid is still flying on the sector 3. He will have Cactus as traffic, but I don't think it will be enough for impeding the lap. Let's see if he can improve because it's normal to see an improvement. As I said, these cars are going on low on fuel as they are just crossing the line, as Bagro sets the provisional pole with a 29.4.
Cactus coming in behind him, P3. Some good times coming out of a good chunk of this grid right now. A few 129s on the board. Dunk on you coming through in 6th position now. A 130.4 in the Renault. Teammate Unicorn came through 5th a few moments ago. Has been dropped to 9th. Of course, Unicorn taking a podium here last week.
Oh, Arrow crashed, I think.
Oh, what's happened with
Arrow crashed
Arrow?
on the I think on the main straight because he retired, and it seems like the dot of the Mercedes is on track. We will see because we have a Haas, but it's just Maka going to the pits because I really think it's on track.
Well,
Probably crash.
I think
Yes.
you're right. I think that's definitely a car on track because otherwise we'd be seeing it on the way into the pit lane, of course, and it's not here. So there has been an issue for the Mercedes in Aero 28, and that's not going to be good news for him at all.
Now as Dor crosses the line, setting a 29.3, 1/10 faster than the provisional pole. I don't know if the track is drying up. It doesn't seem like. So I will guess it's just more practice on the hands of these drivers. As we see Unicorn setting a new lap, now almost losing the rear on turn 4, just entering sector 2. He's 2/10 down on his time, so it will not be a good lap at the moment for Unicorn. Probably he can find more time through this lap.
One thing to talk about is one of the drivers on the grid with us today is Larsen Alex over at AlphaTauri. I do believe he is there in a reserve capacity, if I'm not mistaken, and we are familiar with Larsen, of course, because he started this season of MRL as a Tier 1 driver for switching from pad input to wheel input, and it's good to see him still driving in the league, but of course Tier 1 was a little bit out of reach for him once he made that transition, and now he's just getting back to do some good work here. And we'll see what he's able to do here. He's already 4th position, 129.538. But of course, yeah, Larsen, very quick driver, but he has switched input methods from pad to wheel, so he has been relegated to Tier 3 division.
Yeah, as we can see, like he's 2/10 of the provisional pole right now, so probably a good driver for this tier. We'll see if he can take the victory. Will be a good comeback from tier 1. But as well, we have a new driver as a full time. It's Beccario on Haas. So another Spaniard there, as we see Rotinius doing the provisional pole by 1/10 over Dirk. Good lap for the Racing Point.
Yeah, very good lap out of Rutinius there, and of course, welcome and good luck to Beccario over at Haas. It is not a very easy division, as I'm sure he knows, Alex, having seen some of the action this season so far. Rutinius looking to perhaps get himself back on top after a struggle through his home Grand Prix last week, Alex.
Oh yeah, there was some struggle there. He had almost the win on his hands. Then some overtakes and some, well, just incidents through the race just ended the podium possibilities on that home GP. I really feel how it. I really know how it feels to lose on your home GP. I'm an expert of that, but we'll see if Beccario and Arrow can just take the revenge from the Spaniards on the homeland.
If anyone is looking to see what happened to Alex Bitto in Tier 1 and Club Division in MRL last season, you're more than welcome to find it on the YouTube channel. You might have a little bit of a chuckle knowing that, well, Alex was quite upset in those moments. I was commentating those races.
Definitely was not the best, but yeah, we have I think we don't have, yeah, I think Maka probably is flying. He's now on turn 3 on sector 1. as well as Alex Bud still flying. I don't know if it's just behind him. Yes, it's just behind him, as we have as well Vicario, who will start a lap on a few moments.
Well, I'm going to ride on with Alex Bud right now. He's purple through Sector 1 here, taking things nice and easy as he comes out of Turn 4, and we haven't seen a time come out of the Williams just yet. Alex, he's been having an up-and-down season. The Netherlands, it ended early for him, and hopefully he'll be looking to bounce back strong here in Spain. I talked to him a little bit about it, and he just said, well, it's head down, move ahead. Round 6 is next on the menu, so we'll see what he's able to do in that number 28 Williams.
Definitely. As we see some drivers right now, I think it's Duncan Yu on Inters on his out lap. As we see Alex Bud just locking on turn 10, going a little bit wide, not the ideal line. But yeah, this is interesting because Cactus as well. I think this rain is starting to just calm down a little bit, Striff.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a swap to Inters. This rain could be subsiding for the moment. Of course, I'd just like to take a moment before we jump into racing action here to give a massive shout out. Gee Whiz 13, thank you so much for the raid, man. Greatly appreciate it. Welcome into everybody. We're about to jump into Tier 3 Spain. And as you can see by the look of things, well, it's going to be a very unique race, given this qualifying is going to give us a real shakedown on the grid. Thank you so much and welcome in, everyone.
Yeah, we have a lot of drivers now. Razor, Godwin on the pits with the Inters, Larsen as well on the Inters on his out lap. And I'm really curious to see what these drivers can do on these Inters on these Inter tires. But yeah, I think they can improve the times because they can see the delta on their box. So probably they are sure that this is going for Inters.
Well, Damon on these wets right now. He's coming through Sector 3. He hasn't got a time in. His teammate Dirk's doing some stellar driving up in P2 right now. So Damon, he'll be wanting to try and get closer to his teammate. A little bit of a slide coming into the chicane. See how he goes here. I think you're right. Look at this. He's just coming straight in. He's not even going to bother to get that time on the board. He thinks it's time. Inters.
I was on board with Dirk as you were talking about him, and Dirk lost it on turn 5 because he went super wide. It seems like these wet tires don't have any grip now at the moment, Striff. So as we see his teammate as well, of course, going to the pits. But yeah, it really seems like they have to change, as Duncan Yu is on a lap on Inters. I think he's improving 4 cents only in the first split.
Yeah, Duncan Yu is absolutely flying through into turn 9 now. He's getting a ton more of response coming out of this set of tires versus those wets, and he'll be the first driver to really set a proper time on these tires to give us a really good idea of what we want to see on this grid. He's purple through Sector 2, of course, now. And, well, he's coming through into the final few turns. The current time for him is a 1:29.432. He's about to enter into the final turn underneath that 1:25 mark. We'll see what he's able to do. He's going to shave off a couple seconds here, Alex. It's going to be a 1:27.5. Yeah, okay.
It's a 0.5, and we have Cactus as well on the Inters just going to finish the lap. I think the improvement, will be almost identical as the same as Duncan. You will see where this lap puts himself. It's P2, it's half a second slower, but we have Larsen as well on Sector 3 just claiming run out the uphill of turn 12 going to turn 13, and almost going to the chicane now on turn 15 and 16, sorry. But yeah, we have Larsen. Let's see how he can do it. Just try to not put that car on the curbs on the chicane to not unsettle the car. But yeah, we have it here, just climbing the gears, and it's 27.6, just 1 cent behind. Duncan Yu, sorry, Striff.
He's in P15 right now. I'm in the booth. Unicorn, of course, is who you were about to say. But yeah, Razor now, he's coming through Sector 3 here. He's going to be looking to improve on the intermediates. The entirety of this qualifying session now on these intermediate tires. 5 drivers without times. Damon, Moen, Yasko. No time set from them. Linus and Yasko serving qualifying bans. And Godwin, the Finn, in the AlphaTauri Alex. He's on the front row provisionally. Into second position he goes.
Yeah, AlphaTauri are now doing really, really good. But yeah, of course, these points for Larsen will not count. So AlphaTauri on the championship, as we know, Larsen right now is a reserve. So this points will be for the Pirates team, as we like to call them. But yeah, we have some drivers here. I think it's Becario on a lap on turn 8. Right now, going to turn 8, he will find a lot of grip, compared to those wet compounds. But we'll see the improvement starting sector 3 will be 1.7 seconds. That would put the Spaniard on P4 right now.
Well, the Spaniards, I imagine there's a lot of pressure coming with the home Grand Prix. You know all about it, as you've said already. It was a unique dynamic. I mean, you're going to be driving Spain this week in Tier 1. This is good research for you. Becario now, as he comes out of that final turn. Here we go in the Haas. What's it going to be out of him? Well, I'd say that's a pretty damn good time. Becario, a 127.326, will take provisional pole here. Alex, by just shy of 2/10. Gadwin says hello, and he wants to jump ahead of him, and he jumps ahead of him by half a second.
Track is improving very, very fast, Riff. As we have Dirk as well on a lap, just entering sector 2, he was improving, if I'm not mistaken, almost half a second. So we will see, because I think Atom as well starting a lap. We have Racing Point finishing. It's Rutenius finishing the lap. It will be P2 for him, 3/10 lower than Gadwin. Gadwin on really good pace today.
Gadwin seems to be on top of things here in Spain in that AlphaTauri for the moment. Back row, what's he going to say in the Red Bull? He says P3. Next to come through now, Dirk Chocolate. No, it's going to be his teammate Damon Plays. Jumps into the front row. It's a 26.989 Squid. Bumps him back. It's a 26.8 from the Williams.
Oh,
Maka says, I'm going to jump everybody into pole position.
Now Unicorn will cross the line. It's a 27.4, just ahead of his teammate. So it's a very, very good time. For the read, we have Dirk on pole. Dirk on pole by 1/10 right now.
Dirk and pole in Spain here so far. We have a minute and a half remaining in this session. Things are coming down to the wire, and everybody is chaining laps together. You can see Dirk still hammering that deployment as he comes through turn 3 now. And there's going to be a variety of drivers ahead of him that look to bounce back. We'll jump on with a driver who's purple through sector 2 here. It's Rutanius, who's about to cross ahead of him. Well, Alex Budd is about to cross the line. What's he able to do here? P10 out of the Williams for Alex Budd, and it's a beautiful lap from him. Cactus behind him begins.
As well as Duncan Yu. We have Atom as well. Just crossing the line, I think he improved, but not enough. He was on 0 deployment, if I'm not mistaken, as Razor retires on pits. So
Alias takes pole position.
Oh yes, I missed that. Routine is on pole position. I don't know if he will be doing another lap. It doesn't seem like... no. He aborted his lap, so he will be satisfied with that time. 4/10 is the gap he has, but I would not be sure of having that pole yet.
Dark Chocolate, he seemed to be up, coming out through sector 2. He might have dropped it through sector 3 here. Only time will tell, as Maka crosses a 126.360 in the Haas to take that P2 for the moment. And we'll see what happens here as Dirk comes through in the McLaren. What's it going to be out of him? Is it good enough for pole? It isn't. It's good enough to jump him back into the front row ahead of Maka by just shy of 0.03 of a second. And who else is going to be coming through?
Becario will abort his lap, so he will not be higher than P7. We have an Alfa Romeo. I think it's Adam. No, it's not Adam. It's his teammate. And it will be Lobel.
P9
crossing the line, I think improved. Yeah, it's P9. As Gadwin takes pole.
Gadwin. Pole position here in Spain. I can't say I would have expected that coming here into this qualifying, but then again, I don't think anybody expected the rain, and the Finn is showing some amazing prowess in these conditions. Dunk on you is doing just the same, and it's Adam coming through as well, a 125.671. It was a 25.678 out of Dunk on you. That's Adam 7 milliseconds ahead of the Renault into the lead of things starting this race, and I don't know if anyone's going to be able to undo this. Squid.
Probably back row. Back row on last corner. We'll see is in turn 16, just putting the throttle down. It's not DRS open as it's raining. It will be P8. That's enough for P8. We have Maka as well on last corner. We will see if he can improve, and it's not enough for pole position, Strift.
Larsen now to the line is going to take pole position in the AlphaTauri. He improves by 2 seconds. A 125.648, and he's going to take that away from Adam. And it's a big hello from the Pirates today, Alex. Wow, what a
Yeah,
qualifying this has
amazing.
been.
We had like 6 changes of pole position on this last minute. It was amazing qualifying. We will see if they can keep this this pace on the race.
Look at the separation of this grid right now. Larson on pole position here, the reserve driver for AlphaTauri today, on behalf of course, the Pirates in the combined constructors. We have Adam in second position. He had pole until Larson finished out the session. The separation is just shy of 0.03 of a second, and when we have Dunk on You rounding out the top three in the Renault, you love to see such a tight qualifying here, Alex.
Definitely, very tight. It's only I think it was 30 milliseconds, 30,000 there on between top three. So very close. We'll see. Of course, we knew it was going to be dry conditions for the race. So these drivers, as I predicted, I don't know how, they will have a free choice of tires for this start. I think we'll see medium hards or hard mediums. Don't really seem like any driver will select the soft compound here.
Softs is a major gamble here. The tire degradation around Spain is massive for those soft compound tires. And of course, before we jump into the racing action, just like to take a moment to shout out our lovely partners, Next Level Racing. Check them out via their website for some amazing sim racing gear from the beginner to the advanced level. They really are putting their front foot ahead to help out the sim racing community. So join us. Click that link in the chat, and we'll love you for it. Now, course, formation lap. Alex, let's take a look at the tires on these cars. It's going to be a very interesting dynamic for everybody, and we'll take you through the grid as well. Not a single soft tire on this grid.
Exactly. We have only four drivers with the hards. It will be Lobel, Razor, Linus, and Jasko. I think the other drivers are expecting some safety car or some issue because we know that hard to medium is faster, but medium to hard is just to be sure that you have hard set if something like goes wild, like a safety car, BSC, just before you expect. So if you start on hards and there's a safety car on lap 10, you are kind of screwed because you need to take the mediums from that lap to the end, if not doing two stops.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of different tire strategies that can be deployed in, of course, Spain. We look at this grid. We have Larson here on pole position. It was so tight, it was less than 300ths the gap between him and Adam on this front row. Dunk on You is right there with them in third. We have Gadwin in fourth position. He has been showing great pace in those wet conditions for quali. We'll see how it translates into the dry. Maka P5 here. Rutanius in sixth with Dirk, seventh position. Squid behind him in the Williams. It's Cactus in ninth with Backrow in the Red Bull rounding out the top 10. Unicorn just outside that top 10 in 11th position with Beccario making his debut behind him in 12th. Damon in 13th position here with Lavelle 14th on this grid. Alex Budd will be behind him in the Williams with Razor in the Ferrari 16th. Moen 17th in the Racing Point with Linus serving his qualification ban. He will be reset to grid starting this race in 18th position. Arrow with his unfortunate issue in qualifying, not able to get that time in. He will start 19th, and Yasko will start at the back as well, serving a qualification ban as a result of accumulating too many penalty points over the course of the first 5 rounds of the season. And as all of these drivers now approach the grid, Alex, you know what that means. It is about time to go racing here, and as it is, of course, the Spanish Grand Prix. I would love for you to take us away.
Oh, okay, Shrif. So yes, we have here, I think the lights, yes, just right now, we have the 5 red lights here on Spain. It's a good start for the Alfa Romeo of Atom, just taking first place of Larsen. We will see if there's an exchange there on the back. We have a 3 wide just behind Larsen, just going behind the Alfa Romeo. 3 wide between Racing Point, De Haas, and Renault. We have a Mercedes, I think was Cactus going wide on the runoff area. I don't think there's any incident, Shrif.
No, it's looking pretty clean so far here as we come through into turn 3 now. There's a few drivers coming wide on the exit. There's a big snap out of one of the Ferraris there looking to try and get himself into good position. We're looking at the back of this grid right now just to make sure everybody's clean through. We come through into turn 5, everybody clean, and this is what we want to see. A nice clean race start. Cactus, Lavelle now, wheel to wheel as we come through turn 5 and 6. What's happening here? Cactus getting that 12th position. Cactus not having the greatest start. Who's this now behind them? Also looking for position. There's a ton of jostling for position here on the opening lap of this race. Everybody getting to terms with this circuit.
Look at the car. He's going for the move. Sorry for interrupting, but it will be just on the inside of Dirk, almost touching the back of Squid. Will be Beccari on the inside of turn 10. We will see if he can take it, but no. Dirk says no on the Haas driver, and he will stay on P8 at the moment.
Back row, Unicorn right now. Unicorn really pushing in that Renault. He started this race in 11th on the rear of the Red Bull. I have to say he's dispatched the Red Bull here, and we've got a yellow flag behind them. It's Yasko in the partner Red Bull who's had an issue. No damage on that car, but it's an absolute drag race coming down into the first turn here. The timing tower playing its mind games with us, but we're on board right now with Dunk on You following Rutanius and Larsen. And the train is in session here as we jump into lap 2, Alex. And I have to say I'm quite happy with how things have begun.
Yeah, definitely. As we have Rutanius very close on the back of Larsen, I don't think he will go for a move. But still, these top drivers, I think it was the top 10, is very separated to the other drivers. So we have two trains right now. One is led by Unicorn and the other by the leader Atom. And both AlphaTauris have a gap. I don't know if it's enough for breaking DRS.
Well, I'll say one thing right now. Adam not doing himself any favors as he came through turn 7 and 8 as he had a big slide out of the rear. Gadwin's going to be happy seeing those, and he'll want to take advantage when he can. Rutanius on the rear of Larsen right now. These AlphaTauris are in prime position for some good points in this race. Everybody all the way down from 1st to 12th position on these medium tires. It's Lavelle on the rear of Cactus who's been holding well on these hards. Moen behind him, Alex Bud, Arrow, Damon, Linus, Razor, as well as Yasko on this grid. And here we have Rutanius so tight to the rear of Larsen. He's looking for a move, Alex. He's coming out of the final turn, and he's having an absolute drag race with this AlphaTauri down the pit straight. He's going to get that 3rd position, but we might see a switchback opportunity here. DRS has been enabled. There's no snap to the inside out of Larsen. Dunk on You's right behind him as we come through the first sector. And this is very tight racing here for potential podium positions, and you love to see it.
Yeah, he had to avoid the back part of the race. Of the AlphaTauri. Duncan uses slamming a little bit the brakes on the exit of turn 1 and 2. So yeah, we have this gap creating, but Rutanius has to push to break the DRS window of the car behind and just reaching Gadwin for half the DRS on this lap. But I think he will have it done just before turn 9. So yes, he will have DRS on the detection and now opening on this back straight. As we have, I think, Beccari super close of Dirk. It will not be a move, or probably Dirk on Squid, as this DRS train is forming again.
Yeah, the train's starting to extend and get larger and larger, and that's what you like to see. You like to see cars in close proximity, managing those batteries, managing those tires, and really getting as much pace as they can, especially when you have the ability to save a bit coming down through DRS straights. And right now, Beccario on the rear of Dirk, and you can just see how tightly all of these cars are following each other through these turns right now. Dunk on You is going to have DRS on Larsen. That back wing on the AlphaTauri is not open, and here he goes around the outside, down into turn 1, easy as you like for him. Larsen, not much you can do about that. Macca's looking at Larsen as well as we come down into turns 1 and 2. He dropped back on the inside, but he's still looking at that AlphaTauri. Further back, there's an issue. Beccario, Dirk, they're tight through turns 1 and 2. We're going to jump on with the Haas. I think you had a better look than I did.
Yeah, it was side by side on turn 1. I think Beccari was on the inside, Dirk on the outside. So he had the McLaren had the inside on turn 2. I think it was a little bit of touch. I don't think it was fault of anyone there, but Beccari went a little bit deep and he took 3-second penalty. So he and Cactus will have to take a look of that at the end of the race, and he went a little bit on the grass. I don't think there's damage on the Haas though.
Squid right now, less than half a second in DRS range of Macca as Macca keeps up with Larsen. Larsen doing what he can to hold on to that Renault that overtook him into turn 1.
Sorry. Linus sponsor for interrupting, but yeah, we'll be down to last place. If we have an exchange between Cactus and Unicorn, Unicorn going 1 on turn 10. It's Cactus taking the place, but yeah, as we said, he had the penalty.
Yeah, not good to have penalties, especially when the grid's this tight, and then you always have a potential for a safety car, as you said, through quali. Medium risk potential for a safety car here. Given how the first few laps of racing have gone here in Spain, well, I really don't know if we'll see one as a result of collisions or anything like that. Things have been fairly clean in the wheel-to-wheel racing here so far. But then again, we do have a few tricky turns here, and as these tires start to degrade, drivers going to be a little bit at a loss for grip. And that can always present some unique scenarios, as I like to say. Unique scenarios.
Definitely. As we see, Rutenius just on only 2 laps, he created a 2-second gap on the car behind, as well as we saw Duncan Yu exchanging the position with Lurzen. I think actually we missed that. But Rutenius will be super close as Galwin loses the rear, and Rutenius will round the inside, down the inside of turn 8, now ahead. And he will be boosting a little bit that ERS to try to catch Adam, and not losing the DRS will be super important now. This is critical, Strift.
Yeah, this is absolutely critical. Gadwin cannot fall out of Rutenius' DRS range either here. Dunk on you right now. He's really dancing close to it. Of course, we're going to take this quick opportunity to breathe and say thank you very much for yet again another raid today. This time coming from Tier 1 MRL driver Mr. Shazoo Academy, Richie. Thank you very much, sir. I hope you're doing well, and welcome into everybody for this Tier 3 racing action. And I have to say, from the start of quali to the present moment, it's been very, very fun. Maka, he's having a look at Larsen now around the inside. We go into the first turn. Larsen dropping positions on these these straights heading into turn 1 more than once this race so far.
Yeah, now Cactus doing the move as well with DRS on back row, so it will be another move for the Mercedes driver, just as well as he was overtaking Unicorn on the first stages of this race after going wide on the start. So he's tried to do the comeback. But yeah, as well we have this back part of the grid, super close. Look just at the map, it's just super tight.
Yeah, there's fights and battles happening all over this grid. Of course, we are very early on in this race still. Lap 6 out of 33. It's not a quick campaign here around Barcelona, and I'm quite thankful for that. It's one of my most favorite races, and I think that this one has been giving us a lot to talk about. We've had some tight action, a little bit of spin happening, some penalties on the board now. No VSC, no safety car as of yet, knock wood. But a very, very tight grid to provide us with some nail-biting moments as Squid hunts down Larsen. Looks like Larsen starting to struggle in that AlphaTauri here. He has been dropping positions.
Look at Rutenius, look at Rutenius. He's just boosting now on the main straight. He will go around the outside of turn 1. Atom just covering the place there. Good defending from the Alfa Romeo, but it's still Rutenius on the back. And we have, again, the same battle as Zandvoort.
Yeah, that's right. We saw a battle between these two in Zandvoort, and it looks like this rivalry is going to continue all season long if this race is any indicator. They were very tight through qualifying. They're tight again here on circuit. Damon takes a 3-second time penalty, but Rutenius, keeping within this half-second range of Adam ahead, is absolutely crucial for this rivalry right now. Rutenius leading this championship. Adam was one of the favorites to lead the championship at this point in the season. He's had multiple pole positions, but they haven't been translated into race results. Rutenius has been there to pick up the pieces. Adam wants to make sure he doesn't give this Dutchman any more chances.
Sure, as he will. I think Atom still with 0 wins right now. He almost took it on Zandvoort as well as almost Rutenius, as they had the contact on the chicane. But yeah, right now the same scenario. Rutenius just behind, probably conserving a little bit of battery, but he didn't on the last lap. Probably he wants to take the lead and not have any dirty area. So we have Atom just taking a little bit of breath after creating a little bit of the gap in sector 3.
Well, Rutenius not expending any battery at the minute. He knows he's got Adam with that DRS right now. He doesn't need to use battery, I think, until he falls out significantly. And as long as Rutenius is sitting on the rear of Adam, I think that Gadwin might be okay here. Gadwin, we saw him in qualifying showing a significant pace in the wet conditions. He's translated it, as we suspected, into these dry conditions. And I have to say, he's been doing well to keep Dunk on You at bay. 1.5 seconds in the rear view is the Renault. Larsen still sticking with Maka. Maka dancing in or around that DRS range of Dunk on You ahead. And the last thing Dunk on You in that Renault wants is that train to be back in business.
Yeah, definitely. We have some trains here as Atom sets the second faster sector, but his teammate just spun out of the chicane of 7-8. We will see how he can rejoin there. I don't think there's any damage, but he's on the gravel and he was on the hards. He was on a good strategy, but right now everything is not going well for this Alfa Romeo driver.
Meanwhile, Lars in still with Maka. Squid quite tight, less than half a second with Dirk Chocolate barking up his gearbox. And we'll see with any of these drivers and their deployments if they'll be able to do anything. Squid with a good run here out of the final turn. I think he's going to get Larsen. Even with that rear open on the AlphaTauri now, a move to the inside. Larsen squeezing. We move into the first turn here. A little bit later on the brakes for the AlphaTauri. Squid with a snap into that line. We'll see if he looks to go again at the AlphaTauri, but that's Larsen holding 6th for now.
Very good defending. I think he took a warning on turn 2 after abusing a little bit on the inside curb. He's going wide right now. I don't know if he's having some overheat issues, as I'm seeing his steering wheel, and I think it was 104 degrees on the front left tire. But yeah, we have as well Arrow very close on the back of Alex, but we will see if he can do the exchange, as these two had a contact which ended the race of Alex on Zandvoort on the last corner.
Yeah, that was an early retirement for Alex last week. Right now, not so early for him in this one. 14th position for the Williams at the moment. And with that penalty on Arrow right now, he won't be too thrilled about it. 3 seconds for him. Alex, nothing on him at the moment.
Yeah, as we have Rotenius very close. I don't know if we'll try it this lap. It's both using that ERS. I don't think if Rotenius is very close to do the move, probably he can surprise us as he's boosting a little bit. I don't know if that was worthy because he will not have the gap to do it, but there's a spin. I think it's Alex Budd.
Yeah, it looks like Alex Budd has had an issue coming through into the final turn. We were looking on with Dirk Chocolate for a moment as well to see if he was going to have a run on Squid. Nothing doing just yet. Back row is tight with Cactus on the way through turn 3. And there are little battles all over this grid to keep us on our toes today, Alex. We're on lap 10 now of this race. Of course, let us know in the chat what you're thinking of this race so far. Let us know who you got on the podium, and let us know who you have for the race win as well.
Yeah, it's very, very close gaps. We can see like how difficult it is sometimes to overtake. We see Rotenius, even with DRS, ERS. Atom is doing a very, very good defense, but we will see because the pit window probably on this lap can be open. Probably it can be risky to pit now and have the undercut, but probably can work, and just you can open the window of DRS to the car behind after the pit stop.
Rotenius dancing in and around that half battery range here. He's using a ton of battery now to hunt down this Alfa Romeo. He knows that the pit window is starting to come into range, and he wants to make sure he's getting ahead of this Alfa Romeo. Look at the charge coming out of Rotenius here. He expended a major amount of that battery and looked for that outside on the way in, but Adam said not today.
As Moen goes to the pits, his teammate will get rid of these medium compounds. Obviously, the better decision will be putting hards as he does. Sorry. But we have Moen just going down of this timing tower. But yeah, this top 3 very close, and Duncan just chased Godwin, and right now is on less than a second.
Yeah, Maka dropping off Duncan Yu by nearly 2 seconds at the minute. Duncan Yu is now into the fight for podiums. And we see Adam with Rotenius in that rear view right now. Rotenius less than half a second as we come through sector 3. He's priming it right now, Alex.
Rotenius super close. We'll see if he throws the undercut on this lap. Probably Atom can defend it as well. We will see, because it's not only if you do the undercut, is if you have the traffic and both will decide to not pit. Well, the 4 leaders and probably even Maka. So yes, still not these drivers not pitting yet. So they want to stretch the mediums as they are super close on turn 1.
This time Adam holding that outside, coming through, wanting that line as he was fully ahead into the turn. Rotenius trying to peek his nose through. That could have gone south. Godwin, he's going to be looking for those mistakes, and he's very tight to the rear of the Dutchman as well, with a very, very, well, similar battery level, I'll say, with Duncan Yu behind him now.
Yeah, Magda still holding Larson and Squid and Dirk and Becario. It's another train we had after Duncan Yu was able to catch this first three group of cars. So right now, not a lot of action. We had Razor overtaking Arrow on the main straight with the defect of DRS and battery. Different strategies for these drivers. Razor was on the hard compounds, so probably we are on the on the crossover of these mediums to the hards. Probably the hards are now the faster tire on the track.
Well, what I'm liking right now is that everybody in this midfield still in quite close proximity is Larson on the rear. Well, Maka seems to be holding up this train because you can see right now the separation between 5th and 4th is nearly 2 seconds, as Larson right now in 6th. We've seen him struggle a little bit through this race. Could be that Squid just hasn't been able to prime anything to get through on that AlphaTauri. And here we go now, Retanius on the inside. He's going to get Adam here. It's tight coming through the first and second turn. I did not think that Retanius was going to go for it there, but he has, and he has now taken lead of this race. And we caught the end of that exchange here, and it was tight. We'll see if Adam has an answer.
Look at Dirk and Squid. It goes side by side. On turn 4, Squid will have the outside line. We'll see if it's better for his traction. He goes on with a wheel on it on the grass and will not help him to take that place, but Dirk will hold P7, so we will see if he can take another place with Larson still on the DRS window of the AlphaTauri.
Squid not going to be happy dropping position right now. I think he was just holding station on the rear of the AlphaTauri. Dirk took advantage. Dirk's using a little bit of that battery right now. He wants to get some positions before the pit stops come through. He's looking for 6th, and you can see Larson's ramped it up as well on the rear of Maka. Maka's continuing to drop off the rear of Duncan Yu. That DRS is helping Duncan Yu pull away, of course. But we've got Dirk right now really wanting to get this AlphaTauri done and taken care of. As we come through the chicane now, this is an area where drivers can really lose or gain a lot of time depending on how their setups are flowing for them in these races. And you can see now the two front runners, Retanius and Adam, they are into the pit lane.
Yeah, and something that we missed, it's Adam got a 3-second penalty, so that can affect a lot on the final results, as Larson was not going for the dive, but almost hitting the back of the Haas driver. We will see, because that penalty can affect a lot if there's a safety car on the last laps, if we have an exchange between Zasco and Razor for 12th place.
Well, here we go, Retanius now. Where is he going to come out here? This is what we've seen for a lot of these front runners in Tier 3 so far. What's been causing problems for Adam and Retanius? What gave them issues last race? Traffic. And right now they've got a ton of it to work through here. We'll see what's happening as some of these drivers might choose to extend. Of course, as everybody's majority on the mediums, they might not have to worry about traffic for too long here. Penalties are starting to come through as Becario has 3 seconds. It's Squid just in front of him who's taken 3 seconds, and Squid very tight with Dirk. I had a very interesting angle there. It looked as almost as if they were wheel to wheel. But yeah, Dirk in a 5th position. Look at this train still on the rear of Maka. They are not letting up. Dirk really tight to Larson now.
Yeah, it seems like he has the pace as Larson goes wide on turn 13. Dirk will have the outside. The AlphaTauri has to yield a little bit as Maka goes to the pits. Dirk will stay out. We will see, because Squid goes in but takes the bollard, if I'm not mistaken. So that can be looked by the stewards. But yeah, Godwin as well pitted. So these drivers will put the hard compound and go to the end.
Well, definitely interesting switch there from Squid. He was looking to go through for another lap, and then he made a swap because the other guys stayed out. Dirk right now with Larson in his rearview mirror. They're in 2nd and 3rd position. Duncan Yu now in lead of things in the Renault. 14-lap-old mediums. We look back further down as Gadwin and Retanius are wheel-to-wheel. Gadwin right now, a little bit of a separation between Adam and him. A little bit of contact there as we come out of turn 3. Retanius looking to move through quick.
Gadwin did a very good overcut. Atom had traffic. I think it was Razor on that lap 14. Gadwin stayed out 1 lap, and he's just ahead of the Alfa Romeo, and now catching Retanius almost, well, they were side by side on turn 2. Retanius got the place finally. Probably he got used to that hard. Gadwin still with cold tires, as we have I think it's Linus having him spin on the main straight.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's happened. There's a big chunk of damage on this Ferrari. He's really, really struggling right now. Major wing damage on that front left, and he's not even going to be able to come through properly in turns 1 and 2. He's right in the gravel right now, that Ferrari, having a very, very bad time. Not entirely sure.
For the 5 leaders pitting from the mediums to the hards. is Duncan, Yu, Dork, Larson, Vicario, back row. So we will see where they land, because it will be a good impact for this race. All of them putting the hearts to try to go to the end. And Zasko will be the leader right now, holding the net leaders.
Well, Rutanius less than half a second behind him, with Gadwin hunting him down on the fresher rubber by a lap. This is not good long term if Gadwin's got better tire maintenance, but we'll see what Britannius is able to do with the Red Bull. Gadwin is on him. Gadwin doesn't want to let go either. But if Britannius is able to get that Red Bull in front, or, well, in front of Gadwin, between them, that might be what he needs to escape for a few moments.
Yeah, as we can see, probably Rutinius will try it on this back straight. We can see the difference of grip between this Red Bull and Racing Point. I don't know if it can be done here. It seems like Zasko had a good run out of turn 7, 8, and 9. So it will be another sector that Rutinius will be held by this Red Bull, who seems like he has obviously less pace than the Racing Point, as we have Linus again having some issues on sector 3, as we know he had damage.
On his way into the pit lane now. That front wing, major damage right now.
We'll see, because Gadwin is a very good place. I don't think he scored a podium yet, as Linus retires on pit lane. It will be an easy retirement, as Rutinius will take the lead right now of this race. Jasko falling on P2, and Rutinius right now creating a gap, as we have an exchange between Dirk and Maka. Dirk goes on the inside of turn 1 strip.
Yeah, and Dirk moving through. Maka, he was holding up a little bit of this grid earlier, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do that again. Larsen's 1.7 seconds away from him, however. Squid, Vicario in that equation. We're looking at Vicario now. He was looking for that inside on Squid through turn 5.
Yeah, Squid almost having an overtake on Larsen out of turn 2 and 3. Larsen closed the door. Squid almost went off track on that long right-hander. So Vicario was having a very good place to put the car there, but it was not safe, as we have a spin. I think it's Lovell again on the same corner.
This is bad. This is bad. Very tight here. He was trying to get things turned around. Yellow flags. Moen came through. Who's coming behind now? That's a Mercedes and McLaren. Arrow, Damon flying through. Lavelle gets it back around. No damage visibly on the front end of that car. Very fortunate.
Genius setting the fastest lap after overtaking Jasko. He had the DRS. He was utilizing battery on that sector 1 of lap 17. So yes, he had the fastest lap there. As we see Duncan Yu on the inside. Seems like an easy overtake. He hops the turn 1 curb, as Razor as well does on the second curb. Little bit tight there on this first sequence of turns on sector 1, as Jasko still holding Gadwin, and Rutinius creating a gap. Very critical for this lead of the race.
Yeah, it's absolutely critical. This is exactly what Rutanius needed for Yasko. He needed Yasko to sit in second position and be that anchor to keep Gadwin off his back. And now that that gap's increased to +1 for the Red Bull, this is not good for Gadwin, because he's not only got that gap ahead of him, but he needs to worry about Adam behind him. Penalties are not Adam. Very, very quick driver, as he's shown throughout this campaign so far. We're here on lap 18 now, about to cross into 19 out of 33. It's Tier 3, the Spanish Grand Prix.
Jasko has good pace, because Rutinius has not been able to create that gap of 1 second. I thought it was going to be easier. Seems like this hard's still keeping Jasko on a good pace. He's actually doing his personal best with an 18 low, I think, as Gadwin is super close on the back.
Yeah, Gadwin on the back of Yasko right now. Dirk Chocolate has dispatched the Ferrari in Razor, and he needed to get that done, as he now has less than a second. The gap between him and Duncan Yu ahead. Duncan Yu with penalties. Adam just ahead of him with penalties as well. Dirk could be in for a potentially good position here in that McLaren if he keeps his nose clean. Larsen, meanwhile, in 10th position. Squid in 9th. Is going to be doing the work to hunt down Maka, and by extension Razor just in front of them. And as long as Razor's there holding up Maka, Squid's going to be able to get closer in that Williams.
Definitely, and not only Squid, but Larsen and Vicario, which are just behind of the Williams car, still on DRS train. So we will see, because Razor can be a huge impact on this race, as Jasko's still there on the DRS window, not losing. Seems like he's not losing any time. He's actually gaining probably. So Jasko in a very, very good shape today.
A lot of penalties on the grid right now. We have Adam, Dunk on You, Razor, Squid, Cactus, Unicorn, Damon Plays, as well as Alex Bud, all with 3-second penalties to their names. And then it's Becario and Arrow, 6 points each, as Jasko jumps into the pit lane. Fastest lap is a 1:18.1 by the Dutchman in lead of things right now. That's Rutanius.
Look at Maka just overtaking Riser. Will be good for his race, as he doesn't want to lose the DRS on Dirk, but he already did. Now he will try to create a gap with the car behind, not Razor but Squid, and Squid has to do this job very quick to not lose that DRS, as is very important here on this Spanish track.
Jasko coming out right behind Unicorn within a second in that Renault's rear view. We'll see what he's able to do as he's jumped onto medium compound tires.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Obviously,
Yeah.
he's starting on the hards, and he'll go for the mediums as Becario takes another 3-second penalty that will not help him to stay on the points. But seems like he's
he's had a major issue, not just a... Oh, that's a safety car, Alex. That's a safety car here in Spain on lap 20, and the Haas is out of this race.
I'm really sad for him. It was his debut on his home race. Turn 9 can be very, very difficult, and it's proved right now. Becario not having his best debut, but it's very bad luck for Jasko. Jasko pitted 1 lap ago.
Rutanius
Now
has stayed out. He stayed out. He drove by that pit entry. Gadwin's taking a bit of a... Gadwin knows something they don't. He's into the pit lane here.
That's very risky. That's a very risky strategy. He had P2 almost secured, and now he'll have to climb back on Spain. That is not very easy to overtake. He's on P7. It seems like he will rejoin.
Oh,
so
wow.
Not only him, it was Dirk on You as well as Dirk, Razor, who put it for softs.
Razor is going to... Where's he going to come out here? Razor in that Ferrari, Alex. He's come out in 12th position, and he's on those red-rimmed compound soft tires, and I don't know about that one. This is Spain, after all.
Yeah, 10 laps will be, I think, the maximum, because after that, well, actually after probably lap 9, if you can't nurse them on the stint, probably they will drop a lot, and we'll have a lot of, well, the cliff, as we know.
Well, one thing I can say for certain here is that Gadwin has no penalties, and he has a ton of drivers ahead of him on slower and worn tires. Gadwin has shown amazing pace here today. And I am going to go ahead and say this. He is my favorite for a podium at this time, and I'd love to see it. And I imagine everybody in Tier 3 would. Gadwin, a veteran of the MRL.
Yeah, definitely. As we can see, Rutanius trying to hold this pack, these few last laps, as probably he's interested of not extending the gap, and these drivers who have penalties like Atom, Squid, or Cactus, so drop more places due to not being able to create a gap enough for, well, to not affect on those on the race time, because the penalties.
This has been, if we think about this session now, we had that qualifying, then we had such a dynamic race coming through here into lap 20, and then unfortunately Becario, with that retirement, has caused us to jump behind a safety car. Now we have safety car conditions, and the strategy has been completely flipped on its head for the majority of this rear end in the grid here. Rutanius, Adam, Maka, Squid, Lars, and Cactus all on worn hards. You've got Gadwin on fresh mediums with Jasko, as well as Dunk on You, Dirk, back row. I mean, everybody went onto fresh rubber. This is going to be so wild. And I've talked about this with Unicorn, and I've talked about it with you before on the commentaries. Safety cars, not only do they have major properties, look at all the penalties on this grid right now. We're going to take a look at the penalties for all these drivers. You can see a lot of 3-second time penalties, which aren't servable in the pit lane. One 6-second time penalty. Becario had the other one. He's no longer in the race. That is going to play huge here, considering how tight this grid was coming into this race. Another thing I always say is, well, safety cars breed safety cars. And with tire differentials and things like this now coming into the equation, drivers are going to have different braking points. People are going to be taking different risks And with risks, well, we could just be behind one of these safety cars as soon as lap 25, realistically. So you never know what's going to happen, and I love when these dynamics introduce themselves here, Alex.
Yes, and I think we have another lap of safety cars. We haven't since Jasko spawned on their safety car.
Jasko? Don't say that. Well, he's dropped. No, he has damage.
Oh, that's very unfortunately. He had the mediums to go to the end, and just having a good stint as the safety car will be on this lap. Rutinians will be pacing the field. 5 seconds penalty for ignoring yellow flags as a Razor had to overtake Jasko. Probably he can appeal that after this race. But yeah, is on this lap strip. So we will see how Rutinius creates the pace, but I think it's green flag now because Rutinius just the pedal to the metal as we have Maka just very close.
He's all over him. He's all over at him.
He is.
Oh, this is going to be risky. This is going to be big. Adam, a little bit later on the brakes now. Look how tight he is to the rear. Rutinius coming through the first couple turns here. And this is what we want to see, tight racing on the restart. Cactus on the rear of Larsen. More exchanging further down as Dirk and Unicorn. Unicorn's gone a little bit wide coming through turn 3.
Larsen almost doing the move on Squid. Squid went super wide on turn 3, but still holding the place. Godwin, I think he fell asleep a little bit on the restart as he had 6 or 7/10 gap to Cactus, but probably he wanted to create the gap and have like a safe gap in case of these drivers having a collision, so he had time to react.
Well, I'll tell you something. These tires are giving him a ton of pace right now, and as we come out of turn 9, look at the run he's getting on Cactus here. No DRS in the equation for a few laps just yet. Big snap from the inside for Godwin. There's a big tap here.
Oh, that's a big
That
crash.
is a big collision. Where's Dirk Chocolate? Well, Dirk Chocolate got cut up in it as well, and I have to say that was very risky out of him there. Where is his... Well... How much damage does he have?
He has no damage, actually.
He has no damage on that Alpha Tauri. Dirk's got an end plate missing. Cactus is okay, but he's lost some time.
Oh, he has an end plate as well missing. It's the left end plate. It was Razor. Oh, Dirk crashed in the pit lane.
No. Dirk Chocolate is out of this race and the VSC has been deployed.
Oh, that will be helpful for this drivers on the hards as well as Razor to keep the tires a little bit cool. I think, yeah, Dirk, without the downforce of the front wing, was trying to steer on the right to enter the pit lane, and probably he crashed on that ice we have of a barrier there, and that's very dangerous because you don't know how much you're going to understeer, and he did, and he DNF'd because he had terminal damage.
Well, it was a really risky move out of Godwin there, I have to say. That is going to be investigated, I imagine, by all drivers involved. They're going to be looking at that heavily, and the stewards are going to look. But that has sparked a safety car of a virtual variety here, and it is now back to green flag racing on lap 24. A penalty for Godwin. He's just picked up 3 seconds. That's not going to be good for him, as Moen hunting down the Red Bull of back row, trying to get his way into some of these front-end positions, or these point positions, I'll say.
And Godwin super close off Cactus after creating the damage on that Mercedes. He will try to do probably a better move or different as we see on turn 10. But yeah, now DRS will be enabled for this lap. Larsen is very close as well as Atom, but he won't be looking for a move right now. We will see because we have a train there on the midfield.
Well, that race... Well, this race, I should say. This race has been thrown up into a massive shuffle. And here we go now. Around the outside for Godwin. Easy as you like with that damage on Cactus. There's a bit of a catch from Cactus. I don't know if that was a snap or if there was contact there, but this is going to drop him. Damon looking really, really frisky, wanting to get through on this Mercedes, and he will.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Cactus. Yeah, nothing to see there on turn 10 as Arrow was trying to go for a move on Lobel. Razor getting 5-second penalty for gaining a place after corner cutting, probably trying to avoid some contact there ahead of him. So these gaps on the top 6s are very close.
Well, Cactus right now. Lavelle, yeah, he's going to get him, but Arrow might follow through here. And this is Cactus right now. His teammate in Arrow, very tight here as we come through the turn. Cactus is holding up this Alfa Romeo for Arrow.
Seems like probably Arrow is losing time after this because he has to catch the McLaren of Damon. but not a lot that he can do. He has Lobel there braking more than expected because Cactus is damaged. Cactus will be jumping on the building. Gadwin sets the fastest lap. We will see if he can catch Unicorn, as Razor is very close on Gadwin. I don't think he will go for a move. We will see. It's very, very far away still for turn 1 to do a dive, as Cactus retires on the pit lane. Very unfortunate. He was on points.
One driver to talk about who might still net some points here is Mr. Bud here in 14th position. The Williams driver, no penalties. Oh, he's got 3 seconds, excuse me, as it's Moen behind him. A little bit of a tap coming into the rear of Arrow there through turn 4.
Yeah, very, very closest drivers, as we have Adam still on that half-second range, as well as some other drivers. Gadwin just climbing back after the tap he had with Cactus. We'll see if he can do the move now. He has low on battery, almost losing the rear on turn 9. We'll see if he can make a move now on Unicorn on turn 10. Unicorn defending just on the middle. Good defense for the Brit, as we have Razor just looking behind, but he has to take profit of these softs as far as he can, and I think he will have it now on turn 13. Sorry, turn 12. But Gadwin still holding there on sector 3. We will see, because Razor has better grip. We will see the exit.
Yeah, exit's crucial here. Gadwin's going to have that DRS on Unicorn, and this might save him for the moment from Razor. We'll see. Oh, the speed is absolutely massive for both of these drivers on the rear of the Renault. Here goes Gadwin now up the inside of the Renault. Razor's looking forward as well with the Unicorn, and it's wheel to wheel for the Renault and the Ferrari as we come out. Razor drops off the rear. He goes a little bit wide through turn 3, but he will have an opportunity to get that move back on the Renault in just a moment. That was very risky coming out of the Ferrari. Fortunate for both drivers. Nothing happened as a result other than Razor looking to have to go again.
Yeah, look at the DRTR, how affected Razor, because he went super wide on turn 3, as well as probably overheating the front left on that soft. We have a Squid very close on the back of Mac. I don't know if he will try and move. Atom still on the back of Rutenius, are taking 3-second penalty after multiple warnings. These gaps are very, very close, Shrift.
Yeah, very close. Arrow looking for Lavelle. Nothing doing just yet as we come into turn 10. Oh, there is a big lunge out of the Mercedes. We've seen it from him before. He's got that car alongside the Alfa Romeo. It's wheel to wheel now as we come through sector 3. The Alfa Romeo on the inside.
Oh,
there's a big issue for traction. It looks like Lavelle caught the curbing. Arrow had a ton of grip coming through around the outside. He's in the 12th position, and Alex Budd is in a position as well.
Yeah, right now I'm focused on this train because Unicorn probably is gonna be vulnerable for the attack of the Ferrari. Right now the hearts.
Here goes Alex.
Faster.
What a run out of the Williams there, and that's going to be 12th position for him. Arrow looking for a dive switchback through up the inside. Alex Budd says, no way, Jose. Not enough grip there for Arrow, I don't think.
Yeah, it was not space. Alex did a very good job overtaking there. Arrow will be still on the back of that Williams. Seems like Arrow probably not taking the overtakes on the better spot, but Alex just taking profit of that mistake of Lovell and then having DRS to attack the Mercedes. But look at the gap between Duncan Yu and Gadwin. Gadwin, I don't think he will be able to climb that back, and he has a penalty as well as Duncan Yu. So we will see, because Atom doesn't seem like he has the pace and he has a penalty.
Damon sticking with back row sticking with Razor sticking. It's such a lovely train for this P8 position right now. Penalties are in the mixture, and as we take a look at those penalties right now, Razor has 13 seconds. Back row, not one.
Yeah, well, Razor is very close on the back of Unicorn.
Okay, here we go, around the outside. Space is being left for both drivers here. Unicorn defending that Ferrari well. He's going to have that inside through on the exit of 3. Does he get this? It's almost better to have that inside through 3 here. Now on the way into 4 around the outside still for Razor. This is a beautiful battle we're witnessing here, and although both drivers have penalties right now, you love to see exchanges like this. The Ferrari is still looking at that Renault.
Easy.
Beautiful racing coming out of both of these drivers right now. Unicorn is in 8th, still ahead of the Ferrari as we come out of turn 8 now. Razor within 2/10 of Unicorn. He will have DRS. And
look at Damon. Look at Damon very close, almost stopping the rear of Backrow. He had to lift. Backrow almost hitting the rear of the Ferrari will both break and no damage for these drivers. Razor still hunting the back of Unicorn. Very close.
The longer Unicorn holds up Razor, the safer he'll be, as those tires for, of course, Razor continue to degrade. Unicorn's got a little bit of a safety on his. Meanwhile, right behind Razor, he has some hard-charging medium runners in back row and Damon plays as Maka and Squid exchanging into turn 1. It's a big exchange here. Maka on the inside. He's looking to hold this position. Squid has other plans for him as it's still wheel-to-wheel through turn 3. The inside for the Williams now. This is a fight for podium position here. Maka, albeit no penalties for him. Squid is into third.
Yeah, and look, on Duncan, you trying to go around the outside of turn 4. On the AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri losing a little bit the braking point on turn 5, almost losing and tapping the rear of Maka. But yeah, very close. There's still Squid with the penalty. He has to clear that gap. And Larsen takes up a 3-second penalty that will be helpful for Squid, as he won't lose that place. But yeah, Larsen trying to do the same as Squid did on Maka.
Dunk on you with a big slide coming through 7 and 8. Took a little bit too much curbing, unsettled the car. He got it caught, but he lost some time. But he's still within that 1 second range, thankfully. Dancing in it with Larsen. Gadwin 3.1 behind. Tons of action unfolding through in this grid as we've seen all race long. We're now on lap 30, heading into lap 31 of this Tier 3 Spanish Grand Prix with Adam less than a second behind Rutanius. However, penalties might see Rutanius take that top step of the podium once again here. Larsen with DRS not quite close enough to Maka. Maka not quite close enough to Squid on the way into turn 1 here. Further back down.
Almost going for a dive. He was looking, probably trying to scare a little Larsen, but I think he scared more me than the driver. But Duncan, you was trying to utilize that battery. We'll see if he can make it here in turn 4, as we have an exchange between Lovell and Laro. I think Lovell just overtook easily the Mercedes car on the main straight.
Beautiful racing we've seen through this one, I have to say. Definitely setting a very high bar for the rest of the divisions. Of course, we've got Americas this evening, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's 2 a.m. for our friends in the UK. Of course, 2 a.m. GMT, 3 a.m. CET for anyone who's up that late to catch America's division. That'll be Mikau and Stars on the commentary for the Spanish Grand Prix for that MRL division. But yeah, such intense racing here. So far, lap 31 about to be 32. We're about to enter the penultimate lap of this race, and yes, it is the Dutchman who, at this point, we're getting familiar with leading some of these races with Adam in close proximity, who might take the win here. And Adam is just dancing in and around that 1 second range. We take a look at the penalties for him. 3 seconds for Adam, and Squid Maka might catch a podium here. Larsen, dunk on you.
Larsen had a mistake, I think.
Yeah, dunk on you's taking him for 5th. Larsen, not going to be too thrilled about that.
I think they were side by side on the last sector in the chicane. As a consequence, Larsen lost a little bit on traction. I think he was on the outside, so Duncan Yo took that place, but both of them, neither of them had DRS activated, so probably on the detection zone they were side by side. That's very it's very rare to see.
Well, Maka might be on for as much as a second place finish here if he plays his cards right. Back row, really hunting down position here. He wants to get positions on track, I imagine, but he is within, of course. So much range on penalties here. I have to say, he's got that 1 second gap to Razor, Unicorn ahead of them. Everyone's got penalties, and I don't know where back row is going to land here in this Red Bull.
I think he's going to overtake Razor, probably as well Unicorn, so we'll be jumping to P8 it seems. Maka will be jumping to P2 it seems.
Yasko just overtook Arrow around the outside of turn 9. I just caught the rear end of that. I'm not entirely sure if it was just the damage there on that car.
He has damage. I think Arrow has been dropping. I think it was Lovell.
Here goes Larsen. Dunk on you, wheel-to-wheel through turn 1. Big chunk of curbing there for the Renault. That's going to be Larsen up through into 5th position. Does Dunk on you have an answer here as we jump through into the final lap of this race? Very hard racing, less than 2/10 the gap as we come into turn 4 for these two.
Very good, nice. Very good attacking from Larsen after losing the place on the lap before. But yeah, Maka has to be sure that Atom doesn't create a 3 second gap. It doesn't seem like he will. We're on the last lap, Sheriff. So it seems like Rosinius has this hold just tight as Brazier and Backrow going side by side on the exit of turn 5. Now flat out on the turn 6 section, but Backrow will have the move. Damon Place still lurking on the back part of that Ferrari. The Ferrari having the cliff on that softs, and Damon just going on the inside.
Oh, what a charge out of the McLaren here on the final lap of this one. He wants it done on track here, Alex, and he just might get it. Later on the brakes is the Ferrari through on the inside. Damon looking for that switchback through, and he's going to get that move done. What an operation out of Damon, and I have to say, those softs are toast on that Ferrari, Alex.
Yeah, Rutenius crosses line to win another race here on Tier 3. Will be the leader here on Spain. Maka takes second place, and Atom will not drop off the podium. Squid does, because Larsen will overtake him to take P4. Squid will take P5. Duncan used 6th place. Godwin, after trying to do that comeback, will take P7 before the verdicts. Backrow on P8 after climbing that on the overtake on Razor. And I think it was Unicorn on the points yet again.
I have to say, Alex, that was an absolutely thrilling race. That was a beautiful campaign of racing. I have to say, there were a few little dramas, a few little incidents unfolding, but that is racing. And this was an epic exchange of wheel-to-wheel action here. Rutenius taking the top step, back where he wants to be. The Dutchman didn't get it done around home, but he got it done here in Spain. It was Maka in the Haas collecting second position. What a drive out of him. And of course, who can forget Adam collecting the podium for this one. He started in second, he drops to third, but I have to say, after a very dynamic start to his season, he will be happy with that. Larsen in fourth, Squid in fifth. It was Larsen who started this one on pole. He will drop outside of the podium. What a race. Duncan U 6th, Gadwin 7th, Backrow in 8th. It was Unicorn in 9th. Damon will round out the points here for the McLarens. Lavelle 11th, Yasko 12th, Alex Budd 13th position, Moen 14th, it was Razor 15th, Arrow 16th, Cactus in 17th with a retirement in the pit lane, Dirk with some sort of crash, Vicario as well having his issue resulting in the safety car, and it was Linus after a very unfortunate drive in this one retiring in the pit lane, yet to classify here in round 6. What a race. And of course we'll have interviews in just a moment's time, and then we'll raid a member of the F1 stream community.
Yeah, very intense race. That safety car was indeed a spark on that race. We got some more action on that last stint after some drivers pitted, some drivers didn't. Seemed like Atom and Rutenius had the strategy on their side because they didn't pit and they got the podium.
Well, we're going to get interviews dialed in, and I am beyond ecstatic with how this race went. So, joining us for the first of the 3 interviews this evening, Adam, congratulations on the 3rd place finish here. You started on the front row, you dropped back a position, but still a podium in this one. Congratulations. How was this race for you?
This race for me is a very good one for me. I've waited 6 long, hard-fought races to be on the podium, and even 3rd place, I'm really ecstatic. Could not be more happy.
Well, it was a very hard-fought drive, a very intense drive. It's looking like Rutenius is your rival for the season. How is it feeling coming out of the Netherlands? You and him had an exchange. How did it feel racing with the Racing Point today on track? Because it was a very, very intense exchange through this one.
Yeah, well, I will give it credit to Rutenius. He did have great pace today, and he deserves to win. But I did get the time penalty, which was a bit unfortunate, and lost it to Maka. But Rutenius drove great, and he deserves to win.
How is Adam? How are you looking for the next race ahead? It is Monaco, of course.
Me being me and being the drifty person I am, I like Monaco because for me it's one of those tracks where I can go with the flow of it, and I really enjoy it. I've just got to practice because the walls are probably not going to be my best friend, I'll say that.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting exchange. But of course, congratulations, Adam. Thank you very much for joining us in the booth and for taking the time to interview. Congratulations on that P3, and we'll potentially see you up here again very soon.
hopefully. And thank you for the congratulations.
Next up for interview action, it is the second place finisher for this one. It is the Haas driver. It is Maka. Congratulations. How was that for you?
That was that felt good after all the other races.
How was it driving in such a tight and intense grid, especially after that safety car here for round 6?
Yeah, the safety car definitely helped me out massively. Those people in front of me just pit, and it didn't look like it was the right strategy in the end. So.
Well, how are you looking ahead for Monaco? Monaco, it's a very distinctive circuit.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I was confident, but you know, I got my hopes up. Let's try and get more points.
Well, great job today for Haas, of course, and thank you so much for taking the time to interview Maka. Congratulations again. All right, last but not least for the interviews, it is once again a regular here in the booth, and I'm sure Alex can agree with me. Britannius, congratulations, another race win. You didn't quite get it last week. I'll let Alex ask you the questions here for this one. But of course, just from me, congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, very, very good job from Seniors. If I'm not mistaken, it's the 4th time we have it here on the first place. So yeah, very, very intense battle. You were on the first in behind Atom. How was that? You were trying to overtake him. Well, you actually did, but you had very, very a lot of attempts to overtake him, and it didn't seem like you took those.
Yeah, basically I just wanted to do it safely because I didn't want another Netherlands scenario. I just wanted to have the move done safely and as quick as possible, but also very conservative. So I didn't want to shoot my ERS down. I just wanted to do it as quick as possible, but not with eliminating rest of the race. The rest of race in mind.
Yeah. It was a very, very good job indeed. Not taking that penalty was crucial as well, because you had that. Well, you were more comfortable with that, so you were saving on that final part of the stint on the second phase of the race, or you were actually pushing a lot because Atom was pushing you to be better on that track.
I wasn't full pushing. I was just actually like doing my best, but not full push, keeping it safe. At the end of the race, I only had 1 track warning, but yeah, I knew Adam had a penalty. All I had to do was not get a penalty, basically, and that's what I did.
Yeah, very, very good job indeed, Shrif, if you agree with me.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, I think that wraps up everything today.
Can I ask one question? Bido, did you expect a top 5 finish from me today?
I actually didn't say that, but
What?
So I didn't say that, just that, but probably
The curse
yes.
has been broken. The curse has been broken.
Totally. As we know that I said 3 times that I expected you on the top 5, and you won that 3. Now it's 4th, so it seems like you don't need my help anymore.
Well,
I guess I don't.
congratulations, Britannius, and thank you for taking the time, of course.
Thank you.
Well, Alex, that wraps up, I think we can both agree, a fantastic and very exciting Spanish Grand Prix. We are, of course, going to raid now a member of the community, not before we play our outro, as always. But we just want to say thank you to everybody who's come through and hit that follow button, who's been in the chat and hanging out with us for Misfits Racing League action. Of course, massive shout out to our partners, Next Level Racing. Check them out via the link in the description or down in the panels below. They have some amazing gear on their website, and they're really looking to put their front foot forward for, of course, the sim racing community. So thanks a lot, guys. We will see you later tonight for the Americas Division, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's 2 a.m. GMT, 3 a.m. CET. And that will be a very, very fun time. That'll be Mick Out and Stars in the commentary. And then tomorrow, we'll be back same place, same time for Tier 2 Division. See you guys then.